Hi guys, good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and finally the day we have all been anticipating has finally arrived. Today is the Season 3 premiere of our favorite Star Wars show, The Mandalorian. It's back, and it's off to a great start. Before I get into all that, I start gushing over all the details, plot points, character stuff, all that jazz. Please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled Season 3 premiere review. So if you haven't seen the Season 3 premiere yet and you plan on watching it, do not keep on watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, so great to see so many familiar faces again. Din, Grogu, Grief Karga, and It's just so wonderful to see everybody back at play once again, and the season is off to a very good start. Wasn't anything spectacular or mind-blowing. Not every single episode is going to be a Star Wars fan wet dream like that episode of Book of Boba Fett with like all of those incredible fan service moments. I think it was episode 6. Yeah. Not every episode is going to be like that, and that's okay because it makes those episodes all the more special when they finally do hit us, because we don't know when they're going to happen. And this episode still got off to a great start. You know, they briefly caught us up on what had been going on with Mando and Grogu. He's out to redeem himself, even though I feel like he really doesn't have much to redeem. I feel like he's just following his cult's ideology. But hey, if he respects them and he respects himself, I guess he's got to do it. Great seeing Grief Karga again. I loved how he reminded the space pirates and the audience that he's still a badass and he's not to be trifled with, even though he had Mando's backing in that little standoff there. And he really has turned a leaf, and he's made the planet Navarro turn a whole new leaf too. It looks like a respectable, nice place to live, and those space pirates were out of their elements, so to speak. I was not expecting and was delighted to see IG-11 make a somewhat limited appearance in this episode. I'm sorry that they didn't bring him to full form, and when they did bring him back, of course, it was his violent side that came out, and he immediately attacked Grogu. God, there were some funny moments in this episode. This episode was exciting and action-packed. And it was a healthy balance of both. Like Mando's quip of like, well, that's one way to use your head when Grief Karga's head, the statue, crushes IG-11 from going after Grogu any further. Or when Grogu grabs one of the little alien workers and tries to hold him as a pet. That was hysterical. One of the few good things about that POS film, Rise of Skywalker, I was not a fan of that sequel trilogy, and I'm really hoping that they eventually get erased or retconned down the line. But one of the few good things about Rise of Skywalker were those cool little creatures there, and it looks like there's a whole bunch of them trying to work on IG-11. You know, the other thing that I thought was a fun misdirect was the opening scene. I thought, oh, is this a flashback to when Din first became a Mandalorian and was baptized in the way of Mandalore? Because I'm like, oh, well, there's the armorer and there's Heavy, you know, the big Mandalorian with like the big machine gun wrapped around him or whatever, or is it a flamethrower? One of those two. And I'm like, oh, how old are these guys if Din has known them since he was a kid, since he was this age? And then the fun misdirect happens. It turns out it's not Din. It's just another kid being sworn in as a foundling by that the Watch sect. And of course, it gets interrupted by that awesome, scary turtle monster thing, which then Din and Grogu come and blast to pieces and save the day, even though the armorer is still very cold to him, but seems receptive to the idea of redemption when he justifies or points out how Mandalore may not be entirely beyond saving. Speaking of Mandalore, it was nice to check in with Bo-Katan. I wasn't too surprised to see her in her current state. I'm sorry that she was going through a hard time, but I don't think she'll remain there for very long. Once she realizes, or maybe she gets word that Din is successful in landing and getting on Mandalore and perhaps finding the springs that he seeks, maybe that'll reinvigorate her interest in the planet. Who knows? But it's great to see Katie Sackhoff as the character again. And, you know, that was pretty cool. So overall, this episode was filled with so much, backstory, action, humor. And I thought they did a nice job handling both the absence of Cara Dune and Moff Gideon. We know Moff Gideon is obviously coming back. Giancarlo Esposito has revealed that he's indeed going to be in this season. And of course, the whole Cara Dune situation was when Disney fired her for making extremely controversial tweets and remarks online about the pandemic and comparisons to the Holocaust or something like that. Anyway, she's gone now out of the picture, but I did like how, they put her in a pretty positive place where, her character ends up in the Republic Special Forces. Is that what Greef Karga said? Republic Special Forces, or she's working in the New Republic military or something. And Moff Gideon is supposed to appear before the New Republic Tribunal. Let's see how long that lasts, or if that actually happens. So we'll see what happens there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere as much as I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably will watch it again one more time before I go to bed tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here for more episode reviews as the show is finally back with new episodes dropping every Wednesday on Disney+. Have an awesome rest of your night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and of course, until next time, this is the way.